Hey, what's up, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a My 2 Cent video, Switch gaming news video, where I take a look at some of the stories that have come out that at least caught my attention, and give you my thoughts and my opinion about it. So why don't we start off with the first one, and the first one is Super Mario Odyssey. It came out this week. I was able to pick mine up around yesterday, around 9 p.m. after I came off from work, though, and I have been playing it a little bit yesterday and today, and it is a fun game. It is really enjoyable. I won't have a review ready yet, but I will have one, try to get to one soon, though. In the meantime, I do want to talk about a couple things regarding Super Mario Odyssey, and that is that apparently that game has gotten a lot of good reviews. According to several sites, we have seen this from a list of a lot of the sites. This is from Fiji 24/7. Is pointing to arranging that, well, pretty much everyone's giving it a high score. Game Radar Plus gave it a 5 out of 5. Game Informer has given it a 9.8. IGN has given it a 10. GameSpot has given it a 10. Giant Bomb 5.5. Polygon 9.5. You get the idea, though. It's also scoring very high on Metacritic, though. And as far as any negative reviews for the game, I really haven't rarely seen anyone. The only one I've seen that would be considered negative, although, again, that's just to one's preference and one taste. I'm not bashing this individual, and everyone has a different approach and a different taste to it, and that would be ProJair's video. He gave Super Mario Odyssey a 8 out of 10. He looked at it as like a good game, but nothing really hugely special or anything like that. So it was an interesting review. And then of course there was Jim Sterling, who gave it a review, only he didn't, and apparently he did a video, posted it up recently, about how some people are, at least supposedly on a subreddit, are bashing him, or somehow diehard Nintendo fans are bashing him for giving Super Mario Odyssey a 7 out of 10, pushing that whole what happened earlier this year where he gave Breath of the Wild a 7 out of 10, which he did do a review on that one, though. Only according to him, and I haven't seen him posted a review of the game yet, he's basically saying that he didn't even do the review for Mario Odyssey yet, though, and some people are making allegations that he's being, biased towards Nintendo and all. So, I will say this on that front, though. If this is fake and someone posted a fake thing to go after Jim Sterling over it, aka the Jimquisition, to be exact, I think that's really bad. That's terrible. That really is. I mean, yes, there are some people who are still upset with him giving Breath of the Wild a 7 out of 10. I'll admit I don't agree with the review, but I don't think he should have been docked or anything like that over his decision to give Breath of the Wild a 7 out of 10. So, I still think the game is good. I think it's a step forward in some areas with the Zelda series, but again, everyone has a different taste and a different opinion. And this latest one, where people are accusing him from giving Super Mario Odyssey a 7 out of 10, even though technically, according to him, he hasn't played the game yet, at least as far as when this video is being made. That might change or not, but I do think a lot of people are just way overreacting. Look, I understand Jim Sterling can be a bit controversial, and there are times when I disagree with him, and there are times when I do agree with him. And I do think those that are going after him over him giving Super Mario Odyssey a 7 out of 10 need to chill, people, okay? It's just a game. Look, I like Mario Odyssey, I do, but I'm not going to lose sleep if someone gives it a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10, okay? Everyone has a different preference. Everyone has a different taste or a different way of it all, okay? I don't think the game deserves an 8 out of 10. ProJair did and gave that an 8 out of 10, and you know what? That's his opinion. If that's what he thinks the final score of the game deserves, that's his take. Whether you agree with him or not, that's up to you. Same with Jim Sterling, though. If he ends up giving the game 7 out of 10, that's his take, though, okay? I may not 100% agree with him, but he doesn't deserve to be DOSed or attacked just because he chose to give that score to a certain game or not. It's the same thing I feel with Breath of the Wild as well. I will say, and I said this with Breath of the Wild, I will say, however, that I do feel, to a certain extent, that he kind of opened himself up for this kind of attack, that whole DOS attack and all that, mostly because of doing a video saying how it's okay to pirate Nintendo games and all that, even if the whole intention was to be a joke or anything like that. I'm not saying he deserved to be DOSed or attacked or anything like that. I just feel like he kind of opened himself up for the attack, though. And so, bottom line is, it will be interesting to see what he gives Super Mario Odyssey, assuming when that review comes up, though. And I do think people who are overreacting over something that supposedly is not true, at least that's what I'm hearing, need to calm down. And it just points out why you need to be very careful about what someone posts, either on Reddit or anything like that, because it may not always be accurate, but sometimes some people may be saying stuff that could be true, but there are times where it could be inaccurate. So, bottom line, I'm glad the game's getting high scores. It's clear not everyone's going to give the game a high score, and it's not something to lose sleep over, okay? Yes, I'm a diehard Mario fan, but I'm not losing sleep over some people giving the game a low score. If that's their decision, that's their decision. So I'll just leave that at that. Okay, we're going to take a bit of a break, and when we come back, we're going to give you my thoughts over a controversy regarding the Sonic Force demo that was released out in Japan for the Nintendo Switch. So take a bit of a break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our video, and for this one we're going to be taking a look at basically reports that have been coming out about the Sonic Force. As some of you are fully aware, or some of you may have read, that a demo of the game Sonic Force has been released on for the Switch in Japan, though, and it has caused a bit of controversy. And the big controversy over this has to do with the fact that the demo is about 1 minute long. That's right. Apparently, I don't know why, but Sega has made the demo for Sonic Force, at least in Japan though, 1 minute long. So it posts on several articles. Again, links will be in the description of the video. This one's from Game Radar, and it points to, if you want to try out Sonic Force a few weeks earlier, a demo for the game is available now in the Japanese Nintendo eShop and Japanese PlayStation Store. According to this, it says the demo includes 3 stages, one where you try out modern Sonic, and one is the classic Sonic, though, and one as the customizable avatar character, the one where you could create your own avatar in the game. There appears to be full stage from the game, but you can only play each one for a minute before the screen fades in black and a trailer starts playing. This has provoked some significant constraints or upset among gamers. Some people have written Sonic Force demo is time. I think what hurts the Sonic Force demo the most is the goddamn time limit. What were they thinking? The Sonic Force demo is a waste of time and bandwidth. A minute per session. What were they thinking? So some people are a little bit upset about that, though. And some have wrote it that some have defended it or haven't had a rotten time with the demo, saying, quote, positive time, the Sonic Force demo performs so much better than the E3 one for Switch. Getting good at modern is fun, good music. I tried the Sonic Force demo. It's pretty cool, but I wish it didn't have a time limit. After seeing the demo gameplay for Sonic Force, my only complaint so far is the game dialogue from the modern Sonic, and quote, Broke, the Sonic Force demo is bad because it ends after 1 minute. Work, Sega has blessed up with hardcore speedrun training though. So there are some people who are pretty upset about this though. Some even have based their review on or at least reviewed the demo saying that the game's bad, and so on. I haven't played the game yet though, so I'm looking forward to trying it out, especially the Switch version, considering that there is a report coming out that the Switch version will run at 30 frames per second compared to the PS4 and Xbox One, which will run at 60 frames per second though. But I do kind of have to agree with RG85, if I'm saying his name correctly. If not, I apologize. He did a video on this as well. I'll have a link in the description for his video though, and I do kind of agree that I'll agree though that the time limit is dumb. 1 minute is not enough, and I think this was a stupid and idiotic move on Sega's part. I think, why would you give them 1 minute to just try out a level? That's not going to give people enough time though. I mean, having that kind of time limit though is sort of idiotic. I mean, I can understand if you have a demo where you can try out one level, just to try out maybe a couple levels, just to get the feel and all that stuff, but 1 minute is idiotic. I mean, that was a dumb thing to do, okay? I really think that's an idiotic thing for Sega to do, though. But I will agree with the fact that I think some people who are calling this game bad based on the time limit on the demo, I think that's sort of pushing it too much, though. Again, the demo does deserve to be criticized, but I don't think it's going to be... I don't think the game as a whole should be criticized based on the poor demo that Sega has put out, though. Even though I haven't tried the game, I have seen some gameplay footage of it, and it might actually be a good Sonic game. Excuse me. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect. I'm not saying it's going to dethrone Mario Odyssey or anything like that, but it's being developed by the folks who did Sonic Generation and Sonic Colors, which were actually good Sonic games, good 3D Sonic games for that matter. So I do have some hope for this title, and I'm looking forward to trying it out myself. So I'm not going to base I don't think people should base their review on just a poor way the demo was handled and everything. I will agree the demo itself deserves to be criticized. I do agree Sega should be criticized for setting that ridiculous time limit, 1 minute to try out some of the levels though. But I don't think people should, at least this is how I see it, base their review on a 1 minute demo, okay? Yes, like I said, Sega does deserve to be criticized by it, but you shouldn't say, oh, Sonic Forces is terrible based on the demo itself or anything like that. We won't know until the final game comes out, which is supposedly, I believe it's November 7th when the game comes out. So I'm looking forward to trying it out myself, assuming Mario Odyssey doesn't consume my whole time with it though. But overall, yes, it was a dumb, idiotic move for what Sega did, but I think some people, not everyone, I just want to be clear, not everyone, are overreacting a little bit over this. Yes, Sega deserves to be criticized, but we shouldn't just rush his gut judgment and call Sonic Force a bad game over the handling of the demo. When the game finally comes out, then we could decide whether this is a good Sonic game or a bad Sonic game, though. Okay, we're going to take a bit of a break, and when we come back, we'll get to our third and final part of our video, and that is regarding some controversy with the upcoming game Assassin's Creed Origin, which just came out, and the decision to add microtransactions. So we'll take a bit of a break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with the third and final part of our video, and for this one we're going to be taking a look over a recent story that came out regarding Assassin's Creed Origin, which also came out this week, and it has evolved with the issue with microtransaction, as it has been recently discovered that the game, of course, like I said, has microtransaction in the form of Helix, which can be used to buy stuff in the single-player game. However, there has been some counter-arguments, though. There are some people who are still upset about it, but there has been some talk about it that the microtransactions aren't as bad as a lot of people think it is. So even a person who I know basically says that the microtransactions is nowhere near the level of what the loot box are in Star Wars Battlefront 2, or how they are in Middle-earth Shadow War, for example. Still, it has some people upset about it though. So, according to an article on Kotaku, again, link will be in the description. It points out that let's see if I can find it now. The rep told us, as reported before, that in Assassin's Creed Origin, anything that players can purchase with real money is also unlockable by just playing the games. Things like crafting materials, for example, can be obtained by hunting animals in the game's vast Egypt wilderness, or by disassembling the many weapons that defeated enemies drop. That bow you can buy also turns up in the game as also in the game as a drop too. Pressing on the idea that everything in the shop can be obtained in the game, the rep confirmed that outfits, presumably other in-game items like mounts and weapons, can be bought with Helix. Can also be obtained from gameplay, but they note the map that reveals item locations are only purchasable with Helix. Such maps have been obtained in the early Assassin's Creed game just by playing the games. For Origins, the rep says those maps are not technically in-game items and can only be obtained with Helix credits. The locations that those maps highlight can be discovered in the world and explore just by playing the game. The maps aren't required to finish the game and are basically a shortcut to finding stuff you can't track down naturally. They sell for 200 Helix each, or in a bundle for 400. One of the great pleasures of Origins is exploring the map and discovering things for yourself, to say the least. So I'm kind of mixed on this on several areas though, okay? I will say, when compared to some of the controversies that Star Wars Battlefront 2 has had, and basically Middle-earth Shadows of War, which happens to be the worst, this sounds like the lesser of the two other evils out here. It appears as though, based on what the Ubisoft rep saying and based on what we're hearing, at least from what I'm seeing though, that it doesn't seem to be that you can still do what you want to do in the game, and that it's not forcing you in a position where you have to use the microtransaction in the game though. I haven't played the game yet, so I don't know for certain until I try it out myself, but it seems that's what the Ubisoft rep is saying. That said, however, that doesn't mean that people are comfortable with the idea, and we have slowly started to see with some games out there microtransactions put in a way that has made some people upset. Case in point, Middle-earth Shadow War is that one example. There's also the loot box for Star Wars Battlefront 2. So I'm a little uneasy about it though. If it's nice that at least what they're saying is that it's not hindering your gameplay, but I'm a little bit uncomfortable with what they are doing with it. I still am not a big fan of the idea of microtransactions in $60 games, for example. I mean, already Destiny 2 has microtransactions. Right now it's only for the emos and all that stuff, but it worries me a little bit, though, that it's only going to be a matter of time before we have what the Shadows of War situation, or something worse, where you're grinding, going nowhere, and they force the microtransaction on you. So I'm very uncomfortable about it, and unfortunately, the worst part is, according to several reports, is that despite the backlash, the games are still selling very well. So little iffy about this and all. So, but overall, it doesn't seem to be that this is the worst we've seen, but that doesn't mean that people are happy about it. It doesn't mean that people want to see these microtransactions in $60 games. There are still some people upset about it. Unfortunately, it sounds like it's mostly a vocal minority, and until it starts getting completely out of control, that to the point where basically people are protesting with their wallets, I don't see microtransactions going away anytime soon. At least not yet, though. That could change, and I could be wrong, but for now, I think that for now, though, I think for some of these companies, not all of them, but some of them are going to be pushing for those microtransactions. I mean, we already saw it with Fonza 7. We're seeing it with Middle Earth Shadow Wars and Star Wars Battlefront 2. Origin somehow puts it in just a little bit, but not as bad as the other ones, but still, I can see why a lot of people are upset about it. Okay, this concludes this video for this week, for this My 2 Cent video, and again, these are my opinion. What are yours, though? What are your thoughts about Mario Odyssey so far? Are you enjoying the game? Are you not enjoying the game? Do you think the game deserves a perfect score by any chance? Or do you don't think the game deserves a perfect score at all? What about the controversy surrounding the Sonic Force demo? Do you think people have a right to be angry or a bit upset over the fact that the demo is about 1 minute long? Or do you think people are blowing it way out of proportion? And what about the Assassin's Creed microtransaction? Do you think it's a big deal? Do you think it's not as bad as a lot of people think it is? Or do you think you're very worried that this could set a terrible trend down the road? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think, and I hope you hit that like button, and I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. Links will be in the description of this video. It could be through PayPal Me or Patreon, your choice. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good evening and bye.